Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. Howdy, partners. Okay, it's Wednesday, March 30th. You guys feeling that new moon energy? I'm feeling it. Ooh, I'm feeling it. And rather than telling you everything that it's evoking, I'm just going to be with it. So I guess that's the message. Just be with it. Be with all of it. All right, let's see what the sacred geometry has to say today to save myself from saying all the things that are like flowing through me. It's a kind of intense experience. I was talking about that yesterday. There's this cycle that's being played out. It can be, depending on what frequencies that you're aligning to, it can feel like a lot of things. So yesterday I was very conscious. Oh yeah, good morning. Hello. He's been like silent Bob, but now he's like waking up. He's back being comfortable in his home space. We've been going out and hiking every day, so that's been helping his mind. You want to go outside? Stand by, little buddy. Yesterday I was conscious to the fact that there was this this experience of remembering how energetically I would experience things and how then I would respond. And now I'm not in the space of that energy. And so I'm conscious to distinguishing between the energy I'm in now versus the energy I was in, but aware of how there are certain energies that still come into the space that stir things up. So whether I respond in the same way is, really is a piece of it, but there's also the element of energy will still show up. The question is how are you going to be in that energy? Who are you going to be in your reflection? Like joy and happiness or strife and stress? I talk a lot about the gene keys in that hologenetic profile, and one of the things in my profile is at the essence of one of the pieces of my energetic algorithm. At the shadow side of it is stress, and I can see how that has played out, but the evolution of that is like restraint and stillness. So for me, I observe these energies that can evoke the stress, that shadow side, that like deep core, like energetic trigger. The insight is really being able to observe then how to transcend out of that, how to transmute that stress into stillness. Because it can feel in those moments, well, in the past, for me, it's taken me out. It's been a lot of angst, and now the angst is different, but there is still some observation of that energy, like, now what? That energy is in the space. What do I do with it? Just be with it? Look over here? Like then you get to decide, make choices of how you will show up. So, all right, let's see what wants to come through with the fractals. I don't know if I'm making sense. Transition, perception, yes. Delight, oh my God, yes. Same card. This came out first in the reading yesterday. It's in the opposite position. So I think that you're transcending into that. That's so how in this metamorphosis of energetic experience. So the energy shows up in this space. I think we're all going through this transition. We're all going through this this cycle. I said there's still a cycle that's playing out, that we're all kind of, we're working through it. The question is how are we going to perceive the experience? How are we going to perceive the energy when it shows up, and who are we going to be in that space? Who are we going to be when we're just being, like being? For me, the message is be joy and delight, be happiness, be the full experience of self-expression that creates the love in the spaces and places around you. Okay, so like I said, for me, there is a level of intensity that is being evoked in some energy that I'm transcending through. It shows up, I'm conscious to it. The question is how am I going to be with it, and who am I going to be being with it? So this is that. How do you see it? How do you perceive it? What are you going to be? Who are you going to be? How are you going to experience? How are you going to maintain your own wholeness and your own freedom and self-expression within the context of these experiences that show up that can feel heavy, intense? Whew. All right. I feel like they're rocking your world. I feel like my world's getting rocked. All right. Let's see. For today. Yeah, there's a lot of like really beautiful energy. Like I know that this Jupiter-Neptune conjunction is like the most beautiful energy that is going to be like within the context of the entire year. So that is right here. We're in it. We're in it. Within these other energies where there's this like the Saturn and Venus conjunction, the Mars-Saturn conjunction. Those energies are hard. Those are hard aspects. All right. Nine of Wands. Yeah, you're like, so for me, the Nine of Wands is like, I'm almost there, but I'm still there. I'm still in it. I haven't quite, I'm at the final push. And it's going to be really important. Yeah, I'm still being confronted with these sides of myself. But Five of Wands is, for me, Saturn in Leo. My Saturn is in Leo. It's like a lot of contending. Okay, let me pull this whole reading out. Oof. Wow. All right. I'm again a loss for words. So you guys, there's a lot of things happening right now. You're at the end of a cycle. There are things that are coming up about past experiences, and it could be really deep within your psyche. It could be stuff that you thought you were already done with. It could be stuff that you have completely moved on with from in the 3D and you don't really even think about it anymore. But what might be happening is there is some stirring up of some things about yourself and how you've been in these energies. And they might be coming through you through your dreams. Like I said, this Neptunian energy is super dreamy. So you might be having a lot of dream downloads. You might be having a lot of messages coming through you in that, or even when you're resting. For me, the sleep thing is weird because I feel like I'm just traversing in all of these layers of reality, whether I'm in a wake state, a meditated state, or a sleep state. For me, sleep is about actually physically resting my body, but my mind is constantly like in different realms of energy, whether it's being active or not. When you're sleeping, you're in a vulnerable state. And so you are less inclined to fight energy off. And so it comes in hot. And so it's in those spaces where you're really having to be, for me, there has to be some level of consciousness. So even if I'm sleeping, I'm conscious to the energy that's coming into my realm, into my field, even if I'm in a deeper state of rest. So there is some experience right now that's happening where you're kind of at the finality of some things that have, of all the things. It could be all the things. It doesn't just have to be a thing. It could be all the things. You are at the finality. You're at the final push of really being confronted about some things about yourself that have been really like a battle, like an internal battle. Like, how am I going to be this way? What am I going to do about this? Decisions you've had to really be confronted with. Like this Five of Wands, she's like seeing all these parts of herself in the mirror, in the reflections, in the field. Who have I been to myself, to others in the field? Being grounded emotionally, being grounded within your heart, being in coherence is going to help navigate these energies because you are building something. But I think one of the messages that that running away isn't, for me, that is, something that I've really done a good job at succeeding in, is being able to have my own freedom to do what I want, which has kept me from it has had an impact in ways that haven't necessarily been, it's kept me safe, but it has also created, it's been thwarting in some ways, stifling. But I think that the message is that that you can't run from the past. You can't run from your feelings. You can't run away from what it is that you feel that comes into the energy. You face it. You face these fears. You face these experiences. You face these parts of yourself as a way to step into your power and be complete be finished with those experiences. By facing them, you will be in a space of completion with them. There is a completion here. There is an ending here. There is a bottom that you are at with certain ways of being. There's no more of that experience. So like I think about just all kinds of stuff, just different energies, different experiences, different scenarios that I've saw myself in, and I'm like aware of those energies. Even if I'm in a different right now time space, I can timeline hop and I can be in those experiences as if they were actually occurring. We all have the ability to do that. I've practiced that with other reader psychics. There's this ability that we have that we can we can traverse into different realities, different timelines, and actually be in the frequency of those experiences and having actually like an experience of being in those experiences. I think what this is about is being able to be the frequency now within the context of those experiences that have been incredibly intense and confronting. And you don't have to run away from them anymore. They no longer hold the same power because you have now been able to step into your own ability to be powerful over these lower vibrations. You have evolved into a higher level of frequency. And so now you can patiently walk towards this newfound freedom that is really anchored in truth and clarity and wisdom, and then methodically move in the direction of this strength, of this stability, of this love, of this delight, of this yummy, palate pleasing experience, of this, happy belly experience. Okay. So learning how to be balanced within the context of your heart and your soul. So what you're really learning is Page of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, learning how to create balance, an Empress with the power, learning how to be in mission and conceive that, to birth that, learning how to really be of service to the mission and no longer be I need. It's more of I give. So there is this experience of actually learning how to be in service to the mission and actually birthing that, translating that, conceiving of that, creating that on this, in this energy. There has been some indecision about a new offer, but you are learning some new things about the truth and about what really does inspire you. Oh, I see 3 aces. Again, aces. The juggling is dramatic. There's drama in the juggling. But you have to, I think what's happening is you're going to move forward in a decision to learn some new things about energy that is clear. You're going to go from learning some new things to seeing some new things, seeing clearly, learning to see clearly, learning to make decisions that are really fresh and inspired and truthful and grounded. So allowing for the flow to seeing how to celebrate the balance, seeing how to come into the coherence is really where you're headed. So there's integrity in that. You have to be able to see things from a different perspective about what you may have been running from, related to elements of yourself that have been difficult to face, and really see things from a new flow, from a new energetic flow experience where things can come together, where you can celebrate who you are and celebrate in the joy and happiness of who you're becoming. But just being that is what is going to create that. So if you didn't watch that reading yesterday, it really speaks to that. So if you get a chance, check it out. All right, so let's see, you guys. I mean, there's so much to say here, and I'm feeling a little like there's so much energy that it is definitely, I feel it in my heart chakra, I feel it in my solar plexus, I feel it in my sacral. Mostly right now, I'm feeling it in my solar plexus and my heart chakra. It is there's a lot of energy that I'm experiencing right now. So just take your time. That's what's really important, is to just take your time. Just work through this slowly, because what is coming out of this is like the highest vibrational expression of love and freedom and joy and happiness. And it's like, if you know that, just be with that. And it could feel a little overwhelming. In my case, there's been a lot of darkness. To go from complete darkness to complete light. I remember, so for example, when I was a teenager, I was in a car accident, and I didn't grow up like wealthy, but this is like when after my car accident, I received a settlement, and I went from having no money to having a massive amount of money at a really young age with no oversight. So I could have pretty much anything I wanted. And this is like, that was crazy. That was not appropriate for somebody 18 years old to be in that experience. And this is like, if I would have really had the wherewithal to take my time. I mean, I did make some good decisions, but I also made some not so good decisions. In fact, I've made some insane decisions. But to bring this full circle, it's like winning the lottery. But it's really important that you take your time to really be with this beautiful experience, so you can come into it, so you can evolve into the greatness of it, so that it doesn't overwhelm you, so you don't go broke right up. You don't hurry up and be like, it can feel somewhat like too much. So go slow, feed yourself slowly. It's like you have this beautiful meal in front of you. So how are you going to delight in it? So usually when I go into a nice place, I take my time to eat, and I don't care if everybody's done. I like to enjoy the food slowly so that I'm experiencing it. It's pleasing to my palate, and all of my senses are engaged, and I'm enjoying the conversation of the people around me, and I'm people watching, and I'm just in the moment of growing into this beautiful experience. And so this is like an energy where it's like, take your time, something beautiful is here, something on the horizon, something in the space, some very magical, abundant delight. So, don't spend all your money. Take your time and invest it so that you can have the opportunity to build on a beautiful foundation. So, be here now. Freedom is yours. And set healthy boundaries. You guys, I can't make this up. I just love tarot. So great. A lot of 3 energy. Lots of 3 energy. Look, be here now. Be present. Be in the moment. Just stay here in the moment. Do nothing but do that. Okay? That's what you do. And guess what? Then you get to be free to be. Freedom is yours. Because you set the boundaries that you needed to take the best care of yourself. So, like, if I go back to the analogy of being 18 years old and getting all this money, how that would look like is setting a budget and creating the opportunity for a streamline. I'm going to spend X amount of dollars on this, and I'm going to do this and this, and this is how it's going to go. And I'm slowly building something. I'm slowly creating something really like miraculous. And it's going to take some time because it takes all this work to really see the things that you need to see about yourself that you may have run away from. But you don't have, or maybe you didn't run away from them, but it was so intense, it was hard to deal with it. And so now there's this experience where you don't have to do that because you're stepping into your power and you see clearly and you're done with the things that have been stifling. So as you go through this transition and you perceive this experience, just keep anchoring in the space of love and light and delight, happiness and joy. All right, I gotta go. Have a good day.